Umar Cham has asked, or Umar Sham maybe. Would it be permissible for one to perform salah reciting the Quran in translated version in another language other than Arabic? You see, that's interesting because there's there's because there are fatwa from the early ulama, like early scholars like Imam Abu Hanifa, who argued that you could, because Imam Abu Hanifa himself, even though he spoke Arabic, obviously, but was of Persian descent, and his ancestors arguably lived near Kabul in Afghanistan, and then they were kind of brought down into the Middle East, and then later on, Imam Abu Hanifa was born. Qadi Nu'man. Oh, sorry, Nu'man. See, what's interesting is when you say Qadi Nu'man, you've also got the great Fatimid Imam, who's known also as Abu Hanifa, Qadi Nu'man. And you've got Nu'man ibn Thabit, who's Imam Abu Hanifa. So it's interesting. So you have to, I suppose, to differentiate, call, Imam Abu Hanifa and maybe Qadi Nu'man, because he's also known as Abu Hanifa. Right, so Imam Abu Hanifa did have the fatwa that you could to create ease. I would say if a person didn't know Arabic and they were trying to learn Arabic, then during that stage, whilst they still don't know how to read, like this ain't a mushaf, but let's say this was if a mushaf and a person, they're struggling to read because they don't know the Arabic, how to read Arabic, but they're learning, then meanwhile, if they read in English or if they read in another language, I would believe that's fine. But I wouldn't say that for life. Like I would say this ought to be a kind of substitute effort until you can recite Arabic. Because the Quran, you see, there's something about the Quran we have to understand, that the Quran is it, it's kind of scripture in almost like an art mode. Okay, it has a special kind of ambience to it. It's not, I think the problem is we treat the Quran, and I get this as well, we treat the Quran just like a regular book, except a holy book. But really, the Quran came in a kind of like a rhythmic, almost art like expression of scripture. And I feel that there was a reason behind that. You see, let me share a thought with you people. I was watching, those of you that haven't still seen Money Heist, or what is it, La Casa de Papel. It's obviously epic. One of the best TV series ever. But I was watching, after I finished I finished the fourth season, I was watching they've got a documentary on Netflix called Money Heist: The Phenomenon. Now, and it's going through, it's interviewing the characters, and it's very fascinating for all the Money Heist fans. But there's something that got me. It provided an answer to me about something which I was thinking about for a while, and I couldn't quite fathom. I mean, I could. It's like, maybe fathom isn't the right word. Like I had the answer already, but it just didn't fit. And you see, in this documentary, there's a part where he's asked that, or the directors are speaking about, or the producers, whoever it is, they're speaking about why was this a success, and they speak about several things. Why does it resonate with people? So they speak about, because of this, it represents, there's tension, there's so on, exciting, amazing story, blah, 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 blah. All that's, cinematography. But then there's a part that they speak about symbols. You see, one of the reasons it was such a great success is because of the symbols it brought back. Now, or it introduced, it's not about bringing back, but it introduced, like an outfit. It introduced a color, red. It introduced the kind of Dali masks. It introduced the Bella Ciao kind of song and sung it in a passionate way. It introduced the concept of resistance, la resistencia. This is incredibly fascinating because human beings need symbols. And when I was watching that, all of a sudden, something that was a kind of concept that was already in the back of my mind for now, I think maybe 1 to 2 years, just kind of clicked. And that was, I don't know if you guys remember when I've reviewed the book Arabs, a 3,000 year history. And in there, he speaks, Macintosh, he speaks about why he feels Islam took off the way it did in the early stages. And he says that, you see, it was the symbols that people, it was the thing like La ilaha illallah was a slogan. Takbir, things like Allahu Akbar. Even till today, he highlights that people use that as a kind of cry to attack or to do things, to kind of evoke strength. Allahu Akbar. That it was the fact they had a book, the fact that they had a point of direction, the Qibla. It was, you see, these things may not seem powerful, but when you bring them together, they are enough to mobilize an entire civilization. Because people so desperately in their lives need symbols, and this resonates with them. So why am I, and when I was watching this thought, because when I'd heard that before and it was there, I mean, I made sense of it, but it didn't fully click. And I was watching that documentary and it just clicked. And I thought, wow, it just makes so much more. It's like a lens just comes into focus. I suppose it's like that hadith, which isn't, which is a weak hadith, but it says that everything about the scholar is an act of ibadah, even his sitting, drinking, sleeping. Ibadat kiye hain. It's because you never know what you're watching and what idea it kind of triggers in your mind. So so I thought, wow, that is so true that, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, that book, because the concept of the book is what is so powerful to people, and it moves people. And, for years I didn't understand that, because I used to think, well, why do Muslims feel so passionate about the Quran, yet they're not interested in learning Arabic and understanding the Quran? Because to them, the Quran is a symbol. It's the symbol of the book that is powerful, as opposed to even, the actual content. Even though I'm sure if you ask them, they'll obviously say it's important. But if you look at the reality, like, they're not actually that interested in learning about it, but it's the concept that mobilizes them, the symbol. So ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابَ الَّذِي لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Now this book. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a thought. I thought I'd kind of share that with you guys. I'm not sure if it makes much sense to you. If it doesn't, chalo. Chalta hai yaar. La bas. La bas.